thinking about words again. Soft, squishy, bullshit words like tolerance and diversity. You notice the people who scream the loudest about the separation of church and state are now quietly handing over the keys to Congress to a whole new fucking church? Yeah. Apparently the founding fathers were dead wrong about that whole no religious test for office thing. They just picked the wrong religion. Turns out all we really needed was a different one running the fucking show. You know, just swap out the crucifix for a crescent, trade in the holy water for some goat's blood, and we're good to go. They told us Islam was a religion of peace. Peace. That's why the Quran reads like a battlefield strategy manual written by a very angry God with a serious fucking grudge. It's peaceful in the same way a piranha-infested river is peaceful. Right up until you dip your fucking toe in. It's peaceful the same way a bear hug from a python is peaceful. Right up until you hear your own ribs crack. And now? Now we got politicians in fucking headscarves swearing into the United States Congress, not on the Bible, but on the fucking Quran. A book that, depending on which page you flip to, either tells you to fast, pray, or burn down a fucking embassy because some guy in Denmark drew a cartoon. And what do they call this? Diversity. You know what that is, right? That's a progressive, focus group-tested word for lower your fucking defenses. See, the old political scam used to be, vote for me, I'll raise your welfare check. Now it's, vote for me, I'll destroy your country from the inside, replace your entire culture and make you say thank you in Arabic. Let's just call it what it is, a fucking hostile takeover with halal catering. America's always been a Christian majority nation, and believe me, I've got plenty of problems with that one too. But let's be fair, the Bible, for all its fairy tales and contradictions, at least says, love thy neighbor and turn the other cheek. It doesn't say convert him or cut his fucking head off. Now, I ain't too religious. I think the 10 Commandments could be written on a cocktail napkin, and 4 of them are just basic traffic laws. But at least the Bible doesn't have a detailed step-by-step how to guide for burning infidels alive. Speaking of the Bible, let's talk about the oath of office. It's a pretty important ceremony, right? A tradition. You raise your right hand, you put your left hand on the Bible, and you swear to uphold the Constitution. But here's a question for all you brilliant political scientists out there. If you don't believe in our Bible, what the hell are you swearing in on? A pamphlet? A prayer rug? A loyalty card to some other country's God? You can't take an oath on something you don't believe in. It's like a vegan swearing on a cheeseburger. Doesn't mean anything. The whole point of the oath is that you're swearing before a higher power you supposedly fear. If you don't fear that power, it's just words. It's a stage play. But in the Quran, that shit reads like a fucking Al-Qaeda mission briefing, a field manual for holy war. Don't believe me? You don't have to. Look it up. It's right there. Surah 9:5. Kill the disbelievers wherever you find them. Well, that's just fucking lovely, isn't it? That's a real kumbaya moment. Imagine if the book of Matthew said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, unless they don't convert. Then slit their throats in a Walmart parking lot and upload it to TikTok. You'd probably have a fucking problem with that, wouldn't you? And if you think they're not trying to sneak in Sharia law, you're living in fucking la-la land with unicorns, gluten-free jihadis, and a functional public school system. See, they don't need tanks and bombs anymore. That's the old way. It's messy. All they need is a ballot box, a compliant media, and a few million gullible virtue-signaling dipshits who think hijabs are a bold fashion statement and not a symbol of patriarchal oppression. You give it another 20 years, we'll be praying toward Mecca 5 times a day in Times Square, facing east so we don't offend the fucking pigeons. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will just be a slow march to the nearest mosque. We got mayors and congressmen who believe in their hearts that apostasy, leaving their religion, should be punished by death. And we're letting them write our laws. Meanwhile, a Christian can't even wear a tiny cross necklace at work without the HR department sending out a 12-page apology memo about creating an unsafe environment. Now let's just flip the script for a second. Let's play a little game of pretend. You think a Christian could get elected to public office in Iran? You think a Jew could open a synagogue in downtown Saudi Arabia? Fuck no. They'd be lucky if they got out of the country alive with both hands still attached and no goats thrown at them for being a Western spy. But here, in the land of the free and the home of the terminally stupid, we don't just let them in. We give them a microphone, a title, a taxpayer-funded salary, and a platform to hate the country they just fucking swore to protect. And they swear that oath on the fucking Quran. Let me repeat that because the absurdity is just beautiful. They swear an oath to uphold American values on a book that in many places says to actively destroy those same values. That's like asking a vegan to cater your Texas barbecue and being shocked when your brisket tastes like tofu, sadness, and moral superiority. Now, before you get your fucking hashtags in a twist, this ain't about race. Islam isn't a race, you morons. It's a fucking ideology. It's a set of ideas. You choose it. And if your chosen ideology says, I gotta submit to your God or die, well, guess what, sweet eye? I ain't submitting, and I sure as hell ain't dying quietly. This is about preserving Western civilization, you know? That little experiment that gave us freedom of speech, women's rights, gay rights, democracy, science, art, rock and roll, all the shit the Quran doesn't exactly put in its top 10 list of approved activities. You're not being tolerant when you embrace an intolerant ideology. You're just being conquered, slowly. And the worst part is, you're clapping. Like a bunch of trained fucking SEALs while it happens because it makes you feel virtuous. So what happens when 51% of Congress is Muslim? You think they'll uphold the Constitution then? Of course not. They'll do what they're commanded to do. They'll rewrite it in Arabic. And your grandkids will be eating bugs, wearing burqas, and wondering why Christmas got replaced by Ramadan and why the local mall got blown up last fucking Tuesday for selling bikinis. This ain't paranoia. This is pattern recognition. It's called looking at a map. It's happening in Europe, it's happening in Canada, and it's creeping into the USA, one diverse neighborhood at a time. If you don't want Sharia law running your country, here's a radical idea. Maybe don't vote for people who believe in Sharia fucking law. It ain't that complicated, folks. America doesn't need a religion swap. It needs a hard, swift, wake-up slap to the fucking face. And now we got the high priests of the modern world, the tech overlords and the government snitches protecting this holy ideology like it's a newborn baby made of nitroglycerin. You can criticize anything else. You can make fun of Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism. You can burn a flag. You can piss on the Pope. You can make fun of a fat guy in a MAGA hat. No problem. Free speech, baby. But the moment you ask a simple question like, hey, why does a peaceful religion to be involved in so much non-peaceful activity? Boom! Your fucking flag. Your post disappears faster than a pork chop at a Ramadan buffet. YouTube? Gone. Twitter? Shadow ban. Facebook? You're on a 30-day vacation for hate speech. And if you're real lucky, you'll get a visit from the FBI for inciting violence because some woke intern in Silicon Valley who's never read a damn book, including the one he's defending, got their feelings hurt. Because the truth is, we're living in a time when feelings matter more than fucking facts. But only certain feelings. Yours, those get deleted. Ah, the feminists, God bless them and their infinite capacity for selective outrage. They'll chain themselves to a courthouse for abortion rights and scream, my body, my choice, louder than an Amber Alert at a Megadeth concert. But then, total, deafening silence when it comes to a culture where women are forced to wear black curtains from head to toe, can't drive a car, can't show their hair in public, can't leave the house without a male guardian, and can get stoned to death for talking to a man who isn't their husband. Where's the protest now, ladies? Where's the pink hats? Where are the clever signs? Where's the TikTok outrage? What's the matter? Afraid the people you're defending might, actually defend themselves back with something a little sharper than a mean tweet? Turns out Smash the Patriarchy has a little asterisk next to it that says, does not apply when the patriarchy speaks Arabic and owns goats. And now let's talk about the LGBTQ crowd. These folks fought for decades for basic human rights, the right to marry, the right to adopt, the right to just walk down the street without getting clocked in the face for who they love. And they won. Here, anyway. But guess what happens under the new religious administration they're so eager to welcome? You don't get canceled, you get catapulted off a fucking rooftop. Yeah, the very people they're marching next to at the pro-Palestine rallies, they believe that drag queens are demons and that same-sex weddings are a pretty good reason to open fire on a nightclub. And yet there they are, linking arms, chanting slogans, and talking about intersectionality. Intersectionality, bro? You're standing in the middle of a Sharia law freeway during rush hour, and here comes the moral dump truck, and it's got your name on it. And the media? Don't even get me started on these court eunuchs. These people could find a way to make a ham sandwich sound Islamophobic. They'll run a week-long, 24/7 expose about some nut job who spray-painted a mosque in Idaho. But if a church gets bombed in the Middle East or a synagogue gets shot up in Paris, well, we don't want to inflame tensions. It's a complex issue. Inflame tensions? The building's on fire, you spineless fucking cowards. If a Christian baker doesn't want to make a rainbow cake for a gay wedding, it's a national crisis, a threat to democracy. But if you tried to throw a pride parade in Saudi Arabia, good luck with that. You'll be celebrating Pride Month in a casket. But the media stays silent because they're not journalists. They're fucking cowards. Bought, paid for, neutered, and kept on a leash like a golden fucking retriever at a drag brunch. This is how it starts, folks. It's a slow, quiet invasion. They don't need to fire a shot. They don't need to launch a war. They just show up, they smile, they get elected by a bunch of guilt-ridden, self-hating idiots, and they start to chip away at everything you once thought was sacred. They use your own rights against you. They use your own laws against you. They use your own tolerance as a weapon to destroy you. And while you're too busy arguing about who peed in which bathroom, while you're distracted by the latest celebrity bullshit, they're rewriting the Constitution in Arabic. One school board, one city council at a fucking time. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, gun rights, that whole separation of church and state thing, yeah, all of that becomes negotiable, especially when the fucking state becomes the church. So here's the deal. You want to be tolerant? Fine. Be tolerant of different foods, different music, different people, but don't be fucking stupid. You don't tolerate an ideology that wants you dead. You don't invite someone into your home who has openly told you that their goal is to burn your house down with you inside it. You want to welcome immigrants? Fine, but you demand that they assimilate. You don't adapt to them. They adapt to you. This is America, not Mecca. This is the land of Budweiser, barbecue, and bashing bad ideas without getting your head cut off. And if that fucking offends you, then maybe you're the one who doesn't belong here. Because if we don't wake up and draw a line, we're not just trading flags. We're trading freedom for fear. And I promise you, that's one fucking swap we're all gonna regret. So that's it, folks. The great American religion swap. One day you're eating hot dogs and watching football. The next thing you know, you're asking your daughter what size hijab she wants for prom. And all these spineless, two-faced politicians, they'll sell out your country for 30 pieces of silver and a diversity and inclusion award from some bullshit foundation. So you better start asking the hard questions before it becomes illegal to do so. And to all the finger-wagging, blue-haired woke tards in the back who are about to run to Twitter and call me a hateful bigot, don't tell me I'm hateful. I'm not hateful. I'm observant. I've got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 big fucking mouth, and I use all 3. So if you don't like it, change the fucking channel. Move to Qatar. Go hug a bomb. But for the rest of you who are still awake, still alive, and still sane, do me a favor. Subscribe, like, comment, and share this video like your fucking future depends on it. 'Cause it might. I'm George Carlin. This has been Celebrity Recreations. Chris Dallas is the guy with the balls to write it, produce it, and run it. And together, we're just getting started. Chris and Carlin are out of here.